Hello, this is Tim Campbell at Action Coach Business Coaching with my Survive and Thrive Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through my social channels and email database, as well as provide them coaching. This is a free service I'm doing because if we save every business, we save the economy. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Donna. Welcome, Donna. It's great to have you on the program today.
Thanks, Tim. It is Dona, spelled with one N.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Donna.
Okay, it happens all the time. I like to, it's actually kind of neat to be able to explain people that it's like Mona with a D, and it's unique and hard to remember. So.
Fantastic. Well, Donna, why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about yourself, as well as your business?
Okay, I am one of those weird people who chose administrative assistant as a career. When I first started out, I just get a rush out of helping people succeed and knowing that I was a part of it. So I chose administrative assistant and vowed that I'd be the best there ever was. I spent 20 years till I retired last year at a major manufacturer here in Indianapolis. And 17 of those 20 years, I worked for the same man because as he was promoted, he took me with him. So I think I proved that I was valuable in that respect. But when the opportunity came for early retirement, I was not ready to stop working. So I decided to go back to what I was doing when I was in love with what I did, which is helping people succeed and knowing that I was a part of it. So I decided to start this business and get it growing and thriving. And I have my daughters working with me. So this is going to be my legacy to them. When I am ready to retire in 6 or 7 years, I will give it to them for them to run with, and I will assist them as I can through my retirement.
Fantastic. What a wonderful story. So Donna, how long have you been in business for yourself?
The short answer is 10 months. I took early retirement October of last year and spent the end of the year getting ready, I thought, for hitting the ground running on January 3rd, but it ended up being a lot more than what I had bargained for. So it took a little bit longer.
That is always the case, isn't it?
Isn't it though?
So tell me, who do you serve? Really, who is your best customer? We call that a target audience.
Our sweet spot is that small business who's been in business 3 to 5 years. Business professional is still doing all, if not most of the office tasks that are very time consuming. And they find that they can't grow their business if they continue to do it. So one of the things that we ask for people to listen to when I'm networking is, listen, there's 3 words: time, hate, and grow. If you hear a business professional say, there is just not enough time in the day to get everything done, or I hate and name the office task, or I know I want to grow, but I don't know, I got to change something. I don't know what to do.
Sure.
If they say one of those 3 words, I can guarantee you I can take something off of their plate or some things off of their plate that will give them back their time so that they can work on their business and grow it.
Fantastic. So Donna, what's been the greatest impact that COVID's had on your business?
Oh, COVID. You know, when I first started out the year, I thought, when COVID first started, I thought, oh, this was a great year to start a business.
Yeah, right.
But to be positive, to bring a positive out of it, I really was able to concentrate on educating myself during the first 5 to 6 weeks of COVID, to figure out, hone in on my networking skills, for one, really figure out who I wanted as a client and who my best COIs or centers of influence are. And if I hadn't had that time, I think I would have rushed through it a little bit more and maybe not fine-tuned it. But I was able to discover some great networking partners, and actually about About 5 or 6 week in, I started getting introduced to individuals from my to my target market from my networking partners, and that really made a big difference, because I think the mindset at that time changed, that people were thinking, oh, I'm going to be working at home for a while, I need to make this work. How do I make it work? So it really, it had its positives, while in the middle of the negatives.
So what are one or two specific things that you were able to do during that time to make a difference, and how has that been working for you?
Well, personally, I am a fixer. And that comes with the admin part too. You fix things, you make things run smoothly. So I reached out to, I have several elderly neighbors, and I did grocery runs and pharmaceutical runs, and just spent time talking to them on the phone or standing in their front yard while they stood in their door, talking to them, because that's what was needed at the time. I would, when I came across solopreneurs and small businesses that just needed a little help, but didn't know where their finances were at the time, I would just do some free services for them throughout all of this. And I still do that. Occasionally, when I see that there's something, well, not occasionally, I do it a lot. I just want to help people succeed, because it's like you said, if the small businesses succeed, then our economy is going to get back on track faster. During this time, I also joined a school board for an inner city STEM preschool, where we are helping inner city families have a choice of a preschool that will ignite the thirst for learning in their preschoolers, so that they have a more successful school year. And that's been very exciting for me.
That's awesome. So, Dona, here's an interesting question. It's been said smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what mistakes did you make along the way that other entrepreneurs can learn from your experience?
Oh, my biggest mistake was doing it all by myself, on my own. I did not even know there were groups out there like SCORE or SBDC, for instance. And so I just kind of asked around and just kind of shot from the hip, if you will, to try to get everything that I needed to do. And I had to backtrack a couple of times to get things better situated. I would have loved, at being an admin, I would have loved to have had a checklist. Okay, first you do this, and then you do this, and then you
Yes.
But that's what I do when I do procedures and write out how-to lists. I list, do this, then this, then this, and you'll achieve this. And I would have loved to have had something like that when I started.
Right.
As everyone probably would.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great to know that there are resources out there to be able to tap into. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I'm sure there's many others who are stumbling through the startup phase on their own as well, and don't know that those free resources exist.
Exactly.
So second last question here. I know you've sent me your contact information, and I'll be sure to include that when I post this interview. Is there anything else that we should include, or that you'd like to mention on this interview, like a special offer that you may be running?
Sure. Well, one thing is, we love our veterans. We are so indebted to the sacrifices that they make, that we give a 10% discount for everything for them. They just got to let us know what branch they are retired from, or if they're active, what branch they're in. And they will get a 10% discount throughout their time with us. We also offer $35 off of your first invoice to everyone. But in many situations, I will do a small job for someone, just so that they can get a taste for me and my girls and what we can do, and get a feel for what it feels like to be able to let go of something, because that's the hardest thing for a small business owner, is that delegation and letting go of something that means so much to them.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for those offers, and we'll make sure to include that in these posts as well. So last question here. What has been most inspiring to you during all of this craziness?
Oh, I have so many friends and networking acquaintances that I have seen go out of their way to help people. Recently, I spoke with an insurance agent who had a former client, wasn't even a client now, who had moved out of state, and they were on their way back to the Iowa and their car broke down in Illinois. And he dropped everything and went and picked them up and took them home so that they would be able to organize and coordinate getting their vehicle fixed, but they would be home doing it. And people like that just inspire me. It's going out of your comfort zone and doing something that you're thinking of someone else before you. And wouldn't this be a better place, better world if we all did that? So that's what's been inspiring most, is looking for and seeing those things happen.
And yes, it would be a much better world. Thank you for sharing that. So Dona, that does conclude the interview. For those listening, if you heard something that Dona mentioned that would be a benefit to you to help get some things off of your plate, please reach out to her, take advantage of the offers that she shared. If you heard things that we talked about that you're wrestling with and struggling with, and you'd just like to talk through it a little more, I do offer complimentary coaching sessions to provide some guidance and direction, and I'll include information about that as well in this post. Dona, it's been a pleasure learning about you and your company, and I wish you tremendous success.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a fantastic day.
You too.